Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community. All of the interwebs. It's around the blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Sharp, where we talk about your favorite topics with your favorite guests. And today it is a never-before-seen panel in this iteration, at least. We're going to go start on the top right. It is Crypto Blood, holding it down. Make sure you follow him, Crypto Blood _. Really, really good content. Then on the bottom right, we have Crypto Lifer. He's doing those regular live streams all the time. Make sure you pop in, tell him ATB said hey. Then on the bottom left, you should actually watch his video today. He does a really good job breaking down what mining equipment is profitable, what coins are profitable. Short answer, not much. And then on the top left, we have Kelly holding it down, and you can catch him at Kellam, always doing this. Hey, maybe he's going to kill him today and win ATB. But today we're talking about U.S. Treasury yields and what's it going to mean for the market? What's it going to mean for Bitcoin's price? Also, Bitcoin mining, and we do have someone mine in your name, so maybe we have someone who knows a little something about it. And Warner Music Group teaming up with OpenSea. Is this the future of music NFTs? Have we broke through and eclipsed the next stage of NFTs? But before we cover all those topics, let's look at the crypto market, see where things are heading. And it's just another boring day. Neither Ethereum or nor Bitcoin is breaking above a 1% minus or gain here. We have Bitcoin down about 0.4%. We have Ethereum down about 0.9%. We look elsewhere. It's even more boring if you look at BNB. But a little bit of bright news. We do have XRP continuing to pump. It's down slightly on the week, but if you look at that 7-day chart, it's actually hard to see, but hey, it's maybe starting to turn around. Maybe it's no longer oversold. But let's talk about the treasuries in particular. I mean, we have the Bitcoin price at 19,495, right at 19.5. Now, Crypto Lifer, we have 10-year yields. I mean, they're hitting a 12-year high when it comes to U.S. bonds, so the 10-year bond there. Is this having any effect, in your opinion, on what the macro environment is going to be looking like moving forward? What can we decipher from those tea leaves when we see a 12-year high?
It's interesting. I just got to show you the 10-year yield just so you. Sorry. Oh, so sorry. Hold on one second. 10-year yield. What I'm going to talk about here about the 10-year yield is it kind of combats Bitcoin in a way. It's like if you want, it's a hedged asset. You're going to go into the 10-year yield because you think that the government, U.S. government's never defaulted on debt. So, of course, you're going to give them your money and get a bond back, right? So you think, okay, why would I ever, so it's the safest investment. That's what it's considered. The yield should go down when it's a good time to get into the yield. The yield should be going down. The yield shouldn't be going up. That means people are kind of weary of the U.S. government. Like they're saying maybe it's not the safest investment. Bitcoin actually is, they could also be considered competitors. Do you go into the yield or do you go into Bitcoin? There may be a time where Bitcoin actually flips the yield. This is interesting to me. One last thing I have to say is, could Bitcoin have a trifecta here? This is why I think there could be a bullish move here. If Bitcoin can stay above 19,100, okay, that's a local POC. This is just a quad factor, actually. These are 4 things I want to see happen. Can Bitcoin also, hold this weekly support? See, there was 2 candles closed. It's 19,300. I've been talking about it on my show every single day. We go up and down. We go up and down. If we can hold a weekly candle and close above 19,300, that will be significant, hugely significant. And also, if this total market cap can hold on the weekly above the simple 200, to me, it's all above the simple 200 SMA. I used it before when the last kind of bear market came into a bull. I want to see these 4 things occur, and then we'll have to deal with 20K. But so it's interesting. We may have some signs of a bullish. And the last thing I want to say is the 3-day chart has bullish divergence. We haven't seen the 3-day chart for Bitcoin show bullish divergence ever since the jump right here at 30K. This is substantial. You cannot look at bullish divergence on the 3-day chart and act like it's not there. That's a big deal to me. Hey, I have some hopium for y'all, and this news about the yield for the 10-year treasury is actually good news for Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. Yeah.
All right, now Crypto Blood, are you kind of sharing that sentiment? I'm kind of looking at the amount of bonds that we do have out. There's $7.6 trillion worth held by foreign entities, and domestically 24 trillion just by the general public and investment firms and such. So you're seeing a 12-year high. I mean, are you seeing the same thing, Crypto Lifers, how this is technically a positive for Bitcoin?
A positive for Bitcoin, I'm not sure, but I do agree with him that yields rising means prices dropping with bonds. So it's an inverted relationship. So over the years since 2008, the Federal Reserve has pretty much ruined the markets. Okay, they've perverted them, they've distorted them. Never in history do we see or had seen the bonds, the price of bonds go up with the price of stocks going up, meaning the yield going down on bonds while stocks were going up. So we're finally seeing a decoupling. So this means something. What fully, reading the tea leaves, I don't know, but for sure that divergence is starting to happen, and we're getting back to a normal working market. So something's going to happen big here. Who knows what? I mean, Bitcoin, I talked about it on my stream earlier today. I made this hypothesis yesterday, and I saw an article today saying that a lot of Brits were buying Bitcoin to escape the crashing UK pound. So that's something that's going on right now. I'm seeing a lot of positive price action on Bitcoin when it should have technically broken down and headed toward that 17.5 Young Jeezy same color t-shirt.
17.5, Mr. 17.5 himself. Now, mind your biz, we're talking about a decoupling there with the stocks and the bonds. We're also seeing a little bit of a decoupling with Bitcoin and the traditional market. To Blood's point, I don't know if it's Britons and other people with weaker currencies market buying up some Bitcoin, but do you see this decoupling continue, or is this just an outlier?
Well, first off, thanks for having me back on the channel, and thank you to the BitSquad in advance for checking out sub.myb.lol. Every click counts, but BitSquad clicks count for, I think it's like 5 or 6 or 10 points. I'm not sure how much more they count for, but it means a lot. As far as being able to speak to this with the level of intelligence that we've already gotten from Crypto Lifer and from Blood, I can't even approach it, right? I'm not even going to try. But what I'll say is that from a miner's perspective and looking at infrastructure and security, we don't have a whole lot on chain that informs us about this. So taking a broader look at these Forex markets, taking a broader look at stocks and bonds, it does seem like that's where we have to go for intelligence on this current decoupling, because there's nothing about the current hash rate. There's nothing about the current difficulty adjustment on Bitcoin's network and on its infrastructure and security layer that gave us any indication that like miners were dumping or holding or accumulating in a certain way. There was nothing about the Bitcoin native ecosystem that was giving us any useful information about this move. So I could tell you what my gut is saying, DZ, and my gut is saying that right now, yeah, people are scared. People are scared because of the Dixie chart. People are scared because of CPI, and so yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if, like Blood is saying, that we're going to see sort of a continuation of that decoupling because of other markets, other developed nations where people are turning to Bitcoin for strength.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of strength, the FOMC, all those meetings, they came out, Kelly, they said, hey, we're going to do 0.75. And it seemed like that was good. A lot of people are saying, hey, I think it was around 20, 30% at one point, saying it could be 100 basis points. Ended up being 75. So, everybody at the time said, okay, this seems to be good. It is as expected, not higher than expected. But the markets are reacting pretty negatively, it appears. I mean, we have 12-year highs on the bonds. We have home prices falling. We have stock markets falling. Do you think that we'll see any pause in this monetary tightening policy?
Well, I think they're going to have to come to some sort of terminal rate at some point. Do I think they're going to match the interest rate at what the inflation level is? I don't think there's a possibility of that. I think we're too far down the rabbit hole for that. We're seeing that as we're seeing with the Treasury, the inverted yields that we're having right now. But I actually wanted to flip it back to share some metrics that's sort of agreeing and disagreeing with some of the stuff these other lovely folks have said so far. And that is, as bad as things have been, even with those interest rates coming in, the hike at 75 basis points, we're just sitting here with sideways price action on not only this range, but also in the NVRV score, which has marked the bottoms the last 3 times, and just basically the reversal from the end of the previous bear run into the initiation of the bull run. I am not saying this means we're going to absolutely go into a bull run, but this is the part that's so frustrating with everybody right now. And going back to the 3-day chart, as I think Lifer had mentioned, on the 3-day chart, also on these Keltner channels, every time we've hit the lower band on this Keltner channel band indicator, has been basically right when we go sideways into that initiation of the bull run. So there's a lot going on right now, not only with what's going on with the Fed and there we go, with the Fed and the interest rates and these inverted bond yields, but there's just a huge questionability about where do I put my money. And Blood said it perfectly a second ago in the fact that, you know, we have all this stuff going on with not only the UK and the European Central Bank and all US banks. It's nobody has trust right now with what's going on, which is why money's starting to pick different places to be put. And Bitcoin is the answer. That's what it was built for in all this. When will it take hold? When will it finally switch in the psyche of the masses? I don't know. But I think at least the smallest ripples of those are at least starting to take effect right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point there. Yeah, go ahead, Blood.
Can I make one point? Because remember when the sanctions came on Russia, it was a pump in Bitcoin as well. So the same thing is kind of happened. It's not a sanction, but everyone is fleeing the pound. Pound has lost 20% of its value in 1 year. This is insane. I used to trade FX. This is unheard of, bro. Like, this is completely insane. So it's unprecedented times. And I think people are fleeing to Bitcoin from the pound, but I think ultimately they'll end up going to the dollar.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Forex charts look quite drastic there. And Crypto Lifer, man, he started taking notes down when he pulled up that 3-day chart. I think he liked what he was seeing there. All right, well, let's talk about Bitcoin mining. I actually kind of want to bring up, you know, you brought up the energy crisis. I'm going to wrap this into a question from Mineyourbiz here. So we do have more and more companies deciding to go out there, upgrade their facilities, open brand new facilities. We have CleanSpark. They got their hash rate up to 4 exahash per second. They're on target to hit it around 5. We have Texas mining company Rhodium. They just raised about $12 million and just announced a merger with Silversun Technologies, not the band, Silversun Pickups. And then not only that, we have Merkle Standard, and they just announced a new $35 million data center opening in South Carolina. So we're seeing a lot of expansion. Now, Mineyourbiz, we have big money investing a lot of capital into these projects. Well, we just had a pipeline blow up, and I don't want to get into the politics of that, but I think it's safe to assume rising energy costs are going to be a net result of that happening. It seems logical here. If there is a abnormal spike in energy costs, what do you think these, I know you're just trying to guess here, but what do you think these big money-backed institutions are going to do? Are they going to mine at a loss, potentially raising the price, or do you think they're going to shut off their facilities and just maybe wait for winter to be over?
That's a phenomenal question, DZ. And what I like about Bitcoin mining and proof of work in general is that it is immediately useful and it's immediately scalable. So if there is any kind of power that's available, if you are trying to structure your grid in a flexible way, if you're trying to have just on-demand power generation and increase the flexibility of a given grid, proof of work is really difficult to beat in that respect. Let's take for an example. You have heavy manufacturing taking place in a given city, and I'll throw one out maybe for Blood here, Detroit, right? Got some heavy manufacturing going on one side of town. Well, it's really difficult to get, for example, a steel facility to shut down for 5 hours or 6 hours. You shut off your machinery for too long, and the factory can't start back up. You flip that back over to Bitcoin, you can shut down your Bitcoin mining operation for 10 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks. And then the moment you flip the power back on, it immediately starts going back into business mode, creating the product that it was designed to produce. So you have that flexibility of being able to scale up and down in terms of just generating your product the second that the light switch is flipped back on. So if there is any kind of a problem in the foreseeable future by way of a pipeline bursting or by way of the diversification of power being an issue, then Bitcoin tends to breathe pretty well, kind of like inhale and exhale, right? Flex really well with those sorts of infrastructure problems, provided you have everything else set up so you can just flip the power on and off. This is something that a lot of American legislators are just now starting to figure out. And it's great to see that you have that kind of healthy competition and that kind of healthy incentive staying here stateside. I think everybody on the show today is here in the States. So I think we're probably all in agreement here that we want more of this business here. Even if you're not a proof of work fanatic, we want more of the crypto industry and we want more of the business here so that we can help shape the best possible legislative ideas and regulatory ideas based on really having a stake in these crypto ecosystems. So I view this as an extremely bullish sign, not necessarily for price, but for the industry and for the future of the crypto industry, and actually having there be genuine American leadership in it, not just a top-down, plutocratic, ivory tower. These are the rules. You better get in line, otherwise, the SEC or the CFTC is going to hit you, going to backside you, across the face, backhand you across the face. But more like, no, we're really competitive, right? I love seeing this level of competition. And if it's true that on the tech side, bear markets are for building, well, clearly it's true on the infrastructure side too. I couldn't be more proud as an American as I am seeing this kind of news.
Seth, could you answer just one quick question for me? And now I know if I have a $5,000, $10,000 Bitcoin mining rig, like you said, I turn it on, boom, the second it's on, it's essentially, what about those large ant miners that, do cost a lot? Is it the same case or is it like minutes, hours? Is that also kind of, you just turn it on, it's good to go? I gotta give me one of those.
Case
I gotta sell my JPEGs or something, man. I gotta give me one of those. All right, now Lifer, he's kind of painting out this bullish, bearish. Now I know you might not have the prices with you right now, but what is it looking like when it comes to winter energy costs? I mean, are there any futures that everyone's talking about? Is it the oil, the nat gas? Is it, or any coal futures, or there anybody trading these kind of types of derivatives or financial instruments? Are there any things in the charts, that may be saying it looks like energy is going to be a little bit scary this winter?
I mean, you could always just a really great chart is always just look at your oil. I mean, oil chart is going to give you
big crypto face. Crypto face, big fan of trading oil here.
I mean, you know what? It's when you trade an asset over and over again, you feel comfortable. I started trading gold. I started trading gold ETFs, right? Electronically traded funds, JNUG and JDST. And now I trade crypto ETFs. That's why I don't really do the leverage, but I like the 3L and 3S tokens because they're just like what I used to trade for years. So it's just like a comfortable space for me. The mining thing is they are consolidating miners too, right?
Yes.
So a lot of miners are selling their Bitcoin not because they want to, because they have to. So that's also consolidating mining in a way, which is a little anti-decentralization, but I think, it's not on a larger scale to worry about like Bitcoin's whole length of its life cycle. But
Ethereum.
This is also saying that we are consolidating the miners, right? And, whoever kind of takes over right now is going to probably have more of the power during the next bear market. If I just show you this quick oil chart real fast, it double top here on the 4 hour.
I've got something to say about the crypto lifer as far as there being a consolidation. The total net hash coming out of this new entity is 4 exahash out of 260. Don't let the numbers trip you up though.
No. I'm not saying this one specifically. I'm saying this kind of happens like the .com bubble would happen. Like whenever we go through this rush of a bunch of people jumped into mining, think they were going to make it, and they're not going to make it. Like they're not going to last. That's just the facts. And we're going to see who's really going to make it through this bear. That's what happened. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. One last thing I wanted to show you guys too.
This new entity is buying their weakness.
Oil? Yeah, and you're the man with this. I don't know. I need to sit with you and learn more mining, but.
Just draw a fib retracement on the mining difficulty. And we can.
My last name's Valdez with Exxon Valdez. I'll answer any oil questions.
Last thing you want to see, look, they all complain and yell at us. They all hate on us, right? All these green people. Look at this chart. Bitcoin mining, video game mining right there, gold mining way above it, and paper production just destroys Bitcoin mining. These people are out of their minds. They open up their mouths. They have no idea what they're talking about when they break down and say Bitcoin isn't green. It actually stores energy better than almost any asset in the world. And people are starting to realize that. It's going to become more well-known. We're going to have to fight the good fight, though.
Yeah. All right. Now, Crypto Blood, he's kind of bringing out a good point there. There might be companies that fail. And then what is probably going to happen with that is probably consolidating into larger players, fewer entities mining Bitcoin. Do you agree with that proposition? Do you think that's a possibility? And should we be worried about that?
I wouldn't be too worried. I'm not the subject matter expert on that. I'll leave that to Mineyourbiz. But I used to mine back in the day. And I think this is the time that you take the risk, because mining is a very resource intensive operation, capital intensive, I should say. Take the time, invest now, and start mining. And that's what these guys are doing. They're accumulating the coins. I guarantee you they're not selling these coins anytime soon. So they're accumulating the coins, they're investing in the infrastructure, and they're going to hodl until the next move up, and then they'll reap the benefits from this risk. It's a long-term play with mining. Mineyourbiz can speak to that better than I can, but I know at least that much to be dangerous. So,
Yeah, and again, if you really
think
do
it's-
want to try to make some money this bear market, watch his stream today. Mind Your Business stream today. He goes over a lot of the stuff happening right now. Now, Kelly, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, is this, are you kind of feeling the same thing that maybe there will be a little too much centralization in the years moving forward?
Well, I don't think there will be, because it's such a competitive space, and we're always going to have the smaller miners that are distributed around the world that aren't competing in these major markets like the US and such. But I do think that with this large amount of I don't even want to call it conglomeration, but with these large publicly traded companies that have now these miners have turned into, I do think they're there to eat up the scraps of people that can't sustain their business if they do have a business when we do have hard times, and I'll pull this chart up here. This is the miner net position change, and we can see right here where we're at. I'm actually very impressed with this floor that we have on price with this amount of negative net position change on miners. And much like Mineyourbiz said earlier, the hash rate is still, it's just been climbing. We've had this huge sell-off back when we had the issue with China, banning mining and then not banning mining, whatever they go back and forth every 6 months, it seems like. But the hash rate's still up, difficulty still going up through the roof. And then the most important chart I find on this is I like looking at this market cap to thermocap ratio, because this is essentially, it's very similar, I think, to the reserve risk when you're looking at it as a individual investor standpoint. But the market cap to thermocap is almost like a metric to look at the risk as opposed to mining profitability, miners being on how much security spend is happening when it's very high. Obviously, this is showing that the market's overheated as compared to price and the security spend. And when it's very low, like it is right now, it's showing that there's a lot less risk for miners as well. So this sort of looking at mining in addition to the metrics for individual investments, that's how you really get a broader picture. So do I think there's going to be consolidation? I think that's a self-fulfilling question or answer, because all things are going to consolidate over time, and people are going to fight their way to either stand alone or be eaten up by these larger organizations.
And when you say all things will consolidate over time, you mean the heat death of the universe, correct?
That's specifically.
I thought you meant specifically the thermodynamics end game there.
Yeah.
All right. Mineyourbiz, just real quick, I'll throw it back to you. Anything you wanted to add? Anybody, I don't know. I want to say you want to correct anybody. We're so scared we're going to embarrass ourselves in front of you, Seth. I'll speak for myself.
Hardly. No, not at all. What I will say is that I don't ever show charts when it comes to any of the mining data, because we all get it from the same source, Glassnode. I'm not sure if we're actually supposed to share too much of their data in our own charts, but I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Talking about Glassnode. Okay. All right. Well, let's hey, it's a pretty good commercial for them, right? All right, let's talk about Warner Music Group and OpenSea. They just teamed up. They just got a new collaboration. This is a quote from their vice president, Shiva Rajamaran. For artists and musicians, NFTs represent a new creative medium and a mechanism to build community, engage directly with fans, and express themselves across borders and languages. Of course, they have had a few drops, kind of dipping their toe in the space. Warner Music Group has, but they're not the only ones in the game. Crypto Lifer, I'm gonna bring up oldie but goodie. Used to be a big fan, maybe you still are. I'm talking about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg he's said
a moment of silence. Coolio died today.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
are you
joking? I'm sorry to bring that up, but that just
Coolio
moment
died.
of silence.
Yes, do I have anything? Poor little.
All right.
Fun fact: the first
Money to
tape.
the pallet.
The first
To the
tape
pallet.
I ever bought from Sam Goody was the Gangster's Paradise soundtrack with Michelle Pfeiffer.
That
is.
one.
So that was actually the
is,
very first album I ever bought. I bought for a Coolio song. So yeah,
Mine was EPMD.
it's tough to hear. All right, well, Lifer. Speaking of rap, though, we do have Snoop Dogg and Death Row Records. I don't know if you remember, he bought Death Row Records and then labeled it. This is now a Web3 music label. Who is more likely to win in the scenario? Is it going to be Warner Music Group because they have a lot of money, but they might move a little more slow, or is it going to be Snoop, less money but able to pivot with the technology quicker? If you had to choose one, I mean, what's the better business model for
Warner never
Web3?
beat a murder charge. I'm going with Snoop all day long, baby. You know what I'm saying?
He beat the case. He can beat Warner.
Honestly,
Can
he's
I
been
inject
recreating
that,
himself
though?
since day one. He was cooking with Martha Stewart. The guy's awesome. I love Snoop. I think
Yeah,
I want him to win. You know what? He'll find another conglomerate to jump onto him, or he'll put 10 he'll amalgamate a bunch of little companies together and they'll eat up Warner. Warner will eventually fall off, hopefully. And this also scares me. Getting into OpenSea, all like it just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's like the little guy getting cut out again, and the conglomerate's moving right in. And like, when is the small? Is this really going to benefit the independent artists? You know, oh man,
I'm actually going to meet Snoop's son in like a week at CNFTCon. Looking forward to it. Champ, shout out to Champ. All right, Mind Your Biz. I mean, who do you think is the winner out of this? Did OpenSea end up, scoring the big win, or was it Warner Music Group that scored the big win? I mean, the art of war. Who's the winner here?
It really depends on whoever is preparing their curated front page and doing insider trading, right? I mean, if history serves, right, to give us any indication of future performance, I think that's what's going to happen,
around, sir.
I'm just saying, man. We've the history doesn't repeat, but it definitely rhymes, and I think this is the perfect topic to discuss that. So, yeah, I think we've got a bit of an issue with any of these centralized platforms. I'm right there with Crypto Lifer. I really do think that the last person that's going to win is retail. With any kind of an agreement like this, it is a lot less grassroots. They don't command the culture the way that some of the artists do. I love that you brought up that question before to Lifer. When you have some of these artists, I'm not going to make it just about Snoop, but some of these artists that are already performing with metaverse avatars, right? And with NFT avatars that they have the full licensing rights to. So they're light years ahead of the game compared to some of the labels, light years ahead of the game compared to some of the corporations and international multi-brand conglomerates. So I do worry about retail, though, right? With stuff like this, I worry about retail, and I worry about the only winner being whoever's on the inside before something gets listed front page.
Yeah. All right. Now, Crypto Blood, what do you think the Apple Musics and the Spotifys and the Pandoras of the world are thinking right now? What do you think their strategy is going to be? Are they going to copy their playbook and maybe try to sign with Sony or sign with, whoever, Taylor Swift's records? Are they going to try to go that route? Or do you think they'll let OpenSea kind of scoop up everybody, then just maybe make a partnership with them?
Listen, if you don't want your executive producer all in your videos, dancing, all on the
3
records,
points.
come to death row.
3
Come
points.
to death row,
3
baby.
points.
Come to death row. No, but I said this. I actually covered this on my
Taylor
stream
Swift on
today.
death row. That's what I'd like to see. Taylor
Swift
on
come
death
to
row.
death row, baby. Come to death row. I actually covered this earlier, DZ, on my channel, and I actually think this is a great move by Warner to position themselves with OpenSea. I'm assuming they have an executive, or not executive, but exclusive deal with them. So they're going to garner a lot of business and really turn a lot of their artists on and their audiences on to NFTs. I think this is a smart move. You may see like OpenSea be the new Apple Play of NFTs. So I think this is a great move for OpenSea. I think it's a great move for Warner Music, and we'll see what happens. But come to death row. Come to Bloodalytics.
Man, it's an episode full of early mid-90s references, and I'm loving it. Kelly, what do you think of that proposition? Is it likely that OpenSea is going to get into the game? Is OpenSea going to be a competitor of Pandora 2 years from now?
No, I think I appreciate that question, but I think that's the wrong line of thinking. I think, like with Warner Music Group, we have to remember not only them, any organization, any business, any person, it's all its own like self-fulfilling organism, and it's doing whatever it can to survive. So is it going to be the best thing for retail? I don't know specifically. I mean, I'm an ex-recording artist. I used to tour. I've done both the singer-songwriter thing and the DJ thing. So I've had a lot of interaction with music agencies and also distribution and also touring. So I think what it's going to do is, one, it will, like Blood said, it's going to drive awareness to a lot more people. So at least it will do that. That's a silver lining. And secondarily, it will also at least help drive some focused work on building new technology and new use cases for that technology. In terms of OpenSea, I don't think they're going to transition directly to music and be a competitor. I think that will definitely be one of their arms. But I think art, in terms of the visual arts, is still going to be the focus in the long term for OpenSea. Of course, any business, what you want to do, you want to create new avenues of cash flow, new different roads, so you're not closed off to one stream. If that's shut down, that you're done. So I think they're doing a smart thing, but I don't think they're going to be necessarily a competitor with these other major streaming distributors.
Yeah, to that point, I don't think they will be a competitor, but I think NFT Marketplace will have some sort of iTunes equivalent. They have to have some sort of catalog with all this eventually. I don't know when it will happen, but man, Kelly Crypto Blood Lifer ATB ain't got no love for Kelly Crypto and Lifer.
Is this him? Is this him?
Ain't got no love.
Is that you, Kelly?
Oh, that's old school. Oh,
wow.
Better see plus ones in the chat.
2003 or something.
W's in the chat. W's in the chat. All right. Mind your biz. You end up winning the 1994 Source Awards. Go ahead. Feel free. Take us away.
Go train.
Leave us with some parting thoughts, please.
Well, it's an honor. First off, hey, all you internet people out there, let me just say it's so much of an honor to have won. Well, realistically, because this is the best roundup that Around the Blockchain has ever had. I'm legitimately honored. I'm floored. I can't believe I did it. And to the competitors, you put up a good fight, and I hope we have another one, another ticket coming up really, really soon. Jokes aside, hit sub.myb.lol. It helps the channel. And thank you for having me. Thank you for smashing sub on everybody else's channel too. All right, and welcome to DZ in the hour. That's all we have time for today. I can't actually redo that skit. That was a pretty bad one. But all right, until next time, BitSquad. DZ out.